bless football. Billy Gill.
God bless football, Stugotz.
Thank you. No Mikey A. Big weekend coming up, Billy.
It is a big week.
Yeah.
Big.
What happened to you?
It is a big weekend coming up.
Yeah. Yep.
Mikey is going to join us today. He's just not with us at this very second.
He will join us, as will Chris Sims, our friend. Austin Ekeler going to join us. Mike Golick going to join us. And an old friend is going to join us, a Bills fan, to mock you, to make fun of you. Because the Bills play the Dolphins, and I would say this is probably the biggest game for the Dolphins in the last 15 to 20 years coming up this Sunday night.
Yeah.
Christine Lisi going to join us from ESPN, our SportsCenter anchor during our 8 years at ESPN.
That'll be fun.
It will be fun.
Hopefully.
For her, for me, for Golick. Yeah.
Why do you do these things? Why do you try to pit people against each other?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, just fun, you know? It's football, Billy.
If you say so.
How do you feel? We're 48 hours, I guess, away from Dolphins and Bills.
Yeah.
Dolphins have to win the game to secure the 2 seed. The Bills need to win the game to win the AFC East. If they win the game, they win the AFC East. They're the 2 seed. Mm-hmm. So how are you feeling right now, 48 hours out?
I am feeling a bit, here's the good thing, is that regardless of the outcome, the Dolphins will make the playoffs.
Yes.
So that's good. So that takes a little bit of the stress off of the situation.
Right.
But, the Dolphins are coming off of a very bad loss that they had last week. They had a win against the Cowboys that people discredited, obviously, and that was kind of obvious. You knew that was going to happen. No matter who won that game, if the Cowboys won that game, it was going to be, well, the Dolphins can't beat a good team. If the Dolphins win that game, the Cowboys are bad on the road. Mm-hmm. So that was not surprising. So that's why last week's game for the Dolphins was particularly important. If you're a Dolphins fan, or just in general for the narrative of the Dolphins is can they beat a good team? And then they pooped the bed a little bit.
They
against
did.
The Ravens. Yeah, a little
I don't discount the Cowboys win. It was a good win. At the time, the Cowboys were considered the best team in the NFL. They were coming off a big victory over the Eagles, so I don't discount that win. What happened last week was embarrassing for the Dolphins, but I will tell you the same thing happened to San Francisco, and it happened at their home place. You know?
I mean, but that's why this week I think is big for the Dolphins, because they're in the playoffs regardless. Obviously, you'd like the 2 seed if you can get the 2 seed, because as a result, you will have home field advantage for part of the playoff run.
Titans game. That's all that matters.
That Titans game.
You win that Titans game, none of this matters.
That was such a bad loss, and you're right about that. That was such a missed opportunity.
Yes.
But, the Dolphins have an opportunity here to kind of get back on course and kind of control the narrative a little bit more, because you beat the Bills here, and if things fall into place and you eliminate the Bills from the playoffs, with it, which is a possibility, that's a huge win, and that will make the playoff
It's a win-win. Yeah. It's 2 wins.
Well said.
Thank you.
And it should make the path easier in the playoffs if you get the Bills out of there for everybody.
2 wins, yes. 2 wins. You had to get in there with that, right?
Well, 2 wins.
Yeah. Is there a way you can use a different microphone, or it's very distracting to both me and Billy?
Yeah. I was trying to figure out, are we recording or are we not
There's
recording?
There's a lot going on in here. This thing wasn't working when we got here. We were late to record. It's just
That's our fault, huh?
No, it's not your fault. It's just, when you're in a rush, tech happens.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
And Mike Fuentes asked me not to do this, but here we are. And he thought we were going to do this on Mystery Crate.
Okay, go ahead.
He's a bad boy now because he got an earring the other day.
Really?
Yeah, that's why.
Wow.
So now we're working on his schedule here. We're going at whatever time he wants. He's got a little lightning bolt earring, so he thinks that the world revolves around him.
What are you, a Chargers fan? I mean...
Yeah. The Bolts. Today's not Austin Ekeler, right?
You should have saved the news for him.
Yeah.
What inspired you to get an earring?
So when I'm going to Japan later this year, I'm going to get a tattoo. I already decided.
Right.
So this is like the soft launch of
really?
Nation.
Of you becoming cool?
Yes, exactly.
What is
I haven't been cool my whole life.
What's the tattoo
so now
going to
pushing
be of?
40, I'm cool.
What's the tattoo going to be of?
I don't know.
Oh.
Something Japanese.
Okay. This
Really?
doesn't seem well thought out.
No. I have a question for you guys, because you're both Dolphin fans. Would you guys rather, this is a crazy scenario, would you rather go to Kansas City and play the Chiefs, or stay at home and play the Houston Texans? It's a fair question to ask. It is. I said recently on the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz that the Chiefs are the team I want to face in the playoffs. I'm not scared of the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't very good. I don't want C.J. Stroud strolling into my stadium, rookie, doesn't know any better. I don't want that guy, because that guy's really good. And I think with him as a starting quarterback, the Texans, I think, are 6-2 in their last 8 games that he has started.
Yeah, but the other quarterback is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So
right.
I don't
Patrick Mahomes at home.
100% understand.
At first I said the Chiefs.
You did. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, but now
Fuentes.
I'm back on CJ Stroud.
I will say this. This is the year you want to face the Chiefs. It would appear at the moment. This is the year you want to get the Chiefs if you get the Chiefs, right?
I mean, it'd be fun going to Kansas City and beating Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. It would.
Yeah, but let's
and they would still say the Dolphins haven't won a big game.
Let's wait to get to the Chiefs. You don't think? We can wait a round or two to get to the Chiefs.
You want to wait around to get to the Chiefs?
Yeah, like if you get the Chiefs like in second round, third round, AFC Championship.
Let some randomness happen.
Exactly. That get to the Chiefs then. But if you're facing the Chiefs then, the Chiefs are hot.
Right.
And then you're worried you don't want to face the Chiefs.
They got some momentum, right? Feeling good about themselves.
Sudden, they put it all together.
Yeah. Clicking at the right time.
Give me the Chiefs early. I want them first round. I do. I don't want CJ Stroud strolling into Dolphin Stadium, rookie quarterback, thinking, hey, I can do anything. I'm 19 years old. I'll beat anyone, anywhere, anytime. I mean, how about that?
Very little facts in that statement.
I have no idea if he's 19.
You know he's not.
How old is he?
22.
I don't know if that's the case.
You think he's 19?
I think he's 20, 21. Fuentes is saying 22.
Yeah.
I don't want a 22-year-old walking into my stadium, young, rookie, thinks he can beat anyone, anywhere, anytime. I don't want it. I don't want it. I want Mahomes reeling.
Is he reeling?
I have no idea.
Who are we talking to today?
We're talking to Chris Sims, Austin Ekeler, Mike Golick, Christine Lisi. Do we have a fantasy game real quick?
Oh, we do. Go to dkng.co/lebatard, and you can compete against us in weekly fantasy.
All right. Exciting. So Chris Sims is going to join us next. I'm not going to ask Chris Sims the question. I just asked you two guys because, well, out of fear that Chris Sims would beat the holy hell out of me. Fair?
Yeah.
All right. I can't wait till the end. You and Billy talking Ravens and Dolphins at the very end of
Bills and Dolphins.
Bills and Dolphins at the very end of
this.
I'm still thinking. I'm still recovering from the Ravens
Dolphins
game.
if we can. Yeah.
He doesn't want to talk about the Ravens Dolphins.
No,
that's why he's going to wait till the end to talk about.
We're out of time.
About Dolphins Bills. Yeah. Oh, we're out of time.
No.
Sorry.
We're gonna get to it. But Sims, first, put us right next to you as Texas was losing that national semifinal game.
Oh my gosh, I know. First off, the first game was great, right? I mean, it really was. I was loving watching the Rose Bowl, two powerhouse teams, right? Jim Harbaugh can't ever win the big one, and they win it in a clutch way. That was really cool. So, Texas game, in the family room, ready to watch the game, right? I wanted to watch in my barn, but my teenager had a New Year's party and my barn up, so I couldn't sit there and watch the game there, all right? So that's a story for maybe in a minute or another day.
Oh, no, Billy's got follow-ups. I can't even see Billy right now, and I know you've arrived at his wheelhouse.
But so, the Texas game was awesome. I mean, again, it was action-packed, big plays. I love, of course, the quarterback from Washington. I think he is the man and being a little underrated. But the game is on too late. I missed the end of the game.
Yep.
I fell asleep. I didn't mean to. I didn't make a conscious effort. But, between it being New Year's the night before, and then the game doesn't start till 9 p.m., and then college games last forever, as we know, I fell asleep somewhere when it was 34-21. The Longhorns were driving. At somewhere in that point, I fell asleep. And the next thing I knew, I woke up. I was watching on the ESPN app. And it said, ESPN, thank you for watching this program. And I didn't really find out until I looked at my phone the next morning.
It did seem like that game was not going to live up to the first one. And then by the end of the game,
it was better.
No, I don't know about that. But by the end of the game, Texas had a chance to potentially win the game. And I was going to ask you what you thought about Sark's play calling and all that, but you were asleep, so never mind.
I know. I don't have a good feel for it. I'm sorry. I didn't love it, though. I've seen the highlights and that. I hate at the end of the games or in a big moment. And, we got coaches that made millions of dollars and they had weeks to prepare. And then the end of the game, it's a big play and it's just hey, you run straight and we'll just throw it the up and maybe you'll catch it. That's what we come up with?
Well,
and that's not on Sark. That's on anybody. But it looked like that a little to me when I was watching back the highlights. And I see it all the time everywhere in football. We got 24 hours in a day, and we had a month to prepare. When it came down to it, we told this guy to run straight, and we told the quarterback to just throw it the up. Now, pay me my $9 million a year. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit from coaches.
It was even stranger, or for me, I thought it was stranger because I'm watching it. I'm like, wow, they're driving down the field. Like, they really have a chance. Then they get to the 12-yard line. They have 15 seconds left, and they throw like a little screen pass for a 1-yard loss. And even worse, they lose 5 seconds off the clock. And
5 seconds for a meaningless. I saw that. I was that's too. That's on the quarterback too. He knows better than that as well, right? There was obviously a play called to be aggressive down the field, right? He's got to know, like, throwing the ball for no yards or even 2 or 3 yards is not worth the time at that moment. Just throw it away, and then maybe you even get an extra play out of the whole situation when it's all said and done.
Billy, seems like we're inching closer to Arch. It really does.
Oh, my God. They were showing Arch the entire game,
I know,
almost.
I know.
The whole second half, I feel like after every couple of plays, we're just watching Arch. And then you saw Chris, like, on media day, where everyone was surrounding Arch. Like, it just seems like this is Arch's team already. Even though you have a chance of playing in the national championship, they're just waiting for Arch.
And am I crazy to think that Penix Jr. is better than Caleb Williams?
Well, I don't think the gap is as far as everybody thinks it is. You heard me during the year. I didn't understand why Penix Jr. wasn't in the conversation with Drake May and Caleb Williams. I did not get that. Now, I know he's got injury history and he's older. That's all I could come to, right? But, he's phenomenal. He's got a big-time arm. He hangs in the pocket. He's got incredible downfield accuracy. That's not easy to come by. It's crazy. You know me, in a year where I'm always going, hey, the quarterback doesn't know he's on the best team, doesn't deserve the award. Here we had a year in college football where I go, the team is the quarterback. They throw it every play. We all know what they are. The defense isn't that great. They go undefeated in the second best conference in football behind the SEC. And he doesn't get the fucking Heisman this year? Like, that's right. It's like we got to start evaluating who we got voting for some of this stuff around here. That's what's driving me crazy. But he's a baller. Yeah. And I saw some people going, well, he might have played himself in the first round. Well, what? Wasn't he already in the fucking first round? I mean,
Weird.
When did 6'4", 220, rocket arm, best downfield thrower in football not become a first-round quarterback? I'm shocked by that. And, yeah, I think you'll continue to see him climb up the boards as it goes more and more and coaches get to dive into the play of Michael Penix.
All right, let's get to the NFL here. Can anyone beat the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, the 49ers, they can.
Okay, all right.
The
Ravens beat them up pretty good, Chris.
I know. And, I think, again, the 49ers didn't play their best ball. It's a tough matchup for the 49ers. But, I think if they play again, the Niners will go back in the lab. They'll play it a little differently. I think that'll be a nail-biter type of football game. The other team I'm going to throw out there to you is the old Baltimore Ravens, a.k.a. the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure I wouldn't make Cleveland the number 3 team in football if you made me rank them, right? Like, first off, we're in a year where there's not a lot of great teams, right? We know that. I mean, it's kind of the 49ers and the Ravens. You get after that, all the other teams have questions, right? Now, not that Cleveland doesn't have questions, but there's not many. There's not. And their defense, I've been trying to tell people really for the last 6 to 8 weeks, have a very much 2015 Broncos feel to me, where they can win games by themselves. Right, so they're a team that I look at, and then Cooper and Njoku, if they get the running game going a little and don't have Flacco throwing it 40-plus times, like, I would not be shocked if Cleveland ended up in the Super Bowl. So I think that highly of Cleveland. I think they're a pretty special football team.
So do I. Do you think Deshaun Watson is enjoying watching this?
No. I think he's going. I think he's going, damn, I can't believe I'm hurt. I'd be a part of this. Let alone he's going, damn, this is going to put a lot of pressure on me if Flacco goes to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game or they win the Super Bowl. It's going to put a whole lot of pressure on me in the whole situation. So, yeah, I think he wants his team to do well and teammates. But, yeah, for his personal career, I'm sure he's a little nervous at how this might unfold.
Are you in on Browns-Ravens AFC Championship game? How great would that be?
I would love it. I would love it. My only thing, and I think I said this to you guys last week. If I didn't say it to you, I've been saying it, is They're a little too crazy reckless. That's all I worry about. They're so aggressive, and I love aggressive. That's me. I got a man crush on them. But it's 13-7 against the Jets. They make the kick returner fumble, right? They got the ball inside the 10-yard line. They have a 4th and 5, and they go for it? Like, you get away with it against the Jets. You're not going to get away with that against the Ravens and some of the other teams. Kick the field goal and go up 16-7. Aggressive is not always the best route. Now, I don't know. Maybe the analytics people, like Kevin Stefanski, has to listen to the analytics people. But, yeah, that's what I worry about with Cleveland more than anything, is just kind of the reckless aggressiveness that when you play through your defense, right, teams that win Super Bowls playing through their defense, they're not reckless go for it on 4th down football teams. The 85 Bears, they didn't go for it on 4th and 5 from the 5 ever. Never. The 2000 Ravens never did it ever. They went, we'll kick a field goal. We'll beat their ass again. They'll be backed up. They'll punt the ball to us. We'll have good field position. Maybe we'll kick a field goal and score a touchdown. Then we'll beat their ass again, and we'll slowly wear them out. The Browns give teams too many cracks to go, hey, get back in the game. You want to get back in the game? And that's what scares me. Sorry for the long answer.
I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, Chris, but Flacco goes. He leads the Browns to Super Bowl, wins his 2nd Super Bowl. Hall of Famer?
Well, first off, I think Flacco is closer to that conversation than people or the public want to give him credit, right? Remember a few
Meaning
years
without
ago,
this season, you're saying that, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. He's not in the Hall of Fame, but it's more of a discussion than people give it credit for.
You do not think that he's close to the Hall of Fame before this season?
I don't think the difference between him and Eli Manning is that far off, and everybody thinks Eli Manning's a shoo-in, and I want to go. This guy went to the playoffs way more than Eli Manning, right? Had to play in the conference with Tom Brady and company. He outplayed Tom Brady in the championship game twice.
Lee Evans drop, yes.
Well, Lee Evans drop, and then they missed the field goal right after that. I mean, he outplayed them. They played in the, I think 2 championship games. He outplayed them both times, right? So there's way more clutch and big-time plays from Joe Flacco than people are giving him credit for. And that's where I'm just saying he's a lot better player than people ever realized. He was stuck on a team that ran the ball and played defense, and he let those guys be the leaders of the team, and I think that's hurt him in the pantheon of the big picture.
Okay, so rank these 3 quarterbacks' chances of getting into the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning, Joe Flacco, Kirk Cousins.
Eli's a lock.
I mean, I feel like Eli's a lock, right? Even though I think it's debatable to say, I mean, a guy that, had a below winning record for his career?
Yeah, but you beat Brady twice, you win 2 Super Bowls, you go in. I mean,
it's literally, that's all it is.
Right.
That's all it is. It really is. But yeah, he's a lock between that and Manning. I mean, and Manning being his last name. Yeah, I think that is the truth of the matter. Kirk Cousins, no.
Oh.
Joe Flacco wins a Super Bowl, wins another MVP.
Getting closer.
It'll get closer. There's some chance there. I'm just saying there's a light at the end of that tunnel, Billy. That's all I'm saying.
Chris, the Chiefs are fascinating to me. Well, help me out with this. Do the Chiefs need to change their style and embrace what they become and stop chasing what they used to be? Because they're not what they used to be. And I feel like they need to embrace what they are, which is a team that can run the football and play defense.
That is it. That's all I've been saying I said it on Football Night in America last week. I've said it on my podcast. Embrace the ugly, Kansas City. Embrace it. Stop thinking, if we get in the shotgun enough times, we'll start to look like the 2018 Chiefs again. No, it ain't happening. Get over it. Play defense. Run the ball. Keep the game close. Mahomes will be clutch at the end of the game. That's what they are. That's how they should play, right? They get themselves in trouble when they start to go, we got to get back in the shotgun and throw balls. Everybody's caught on to their offense. It's not even as good with Nagy as it was with Bieniemy, let alone everybody's caught on to this and what they did and, brought to the NFL a few years ago, right? So, and they don't have the weapons at receiver. They're not protecting all that well, right? The Christmas Day game against the Raiders was maybe the worst offensive film I ever saw the Chiefs put on film ever in the Mahomes era.
Wow.
It was a disaster in every area. Mahomes was horrible. The pass protection was horrible. The play calling was horrible, right? Trick play on your own 10-yard line. That tells you how desperate they are. And it also tells you that they're not embracing what you're saying and then who they are. They keep thinking, hey, we'll be cool and run a trick play and it'll ignite us. No, it's not. Run the ball up the middle, then run it up the middle again, then toss it wide, then run a play action pass and get 40 yards from Mahomes, then play more defense and do it again. And I just feel like they got to come to terms with that.
What do you think the Bears should do with Justin Fields? I mean, he's been really good, Chris. Yeah, it's such a tricky situation. They have the number 1 overall pick, but they can either build around Justin Fields or build around the rookie quarterback.
Build a team, okay? That's what I say, right? And I would argue, first off, the Bears are my man crush in the NFC. The Bears have been like one of my best bet picks for like 6 out of the last 8 weeks.
They've been really good, yeah.
They've been playing as good as anybody in the NFC, not named the 49ers or the Rams, over the last 6 to 7 weeks. I mean, their defense is in your face. It's a lot like the Browns. It's like, go ahead, we dare you. We're right here. Try it, right? They got the number 1 run defense. They got good secondary. Eberflus is a great defensive mind. The O-line's overpowering. They got a great tight end. The receivers are good. Justin Fields, I'll be the first to admit I've waffled on this a little bit. I'm not. I talked about this on my pod today. It used to be 1 out of every 3 throws I'd go, oh, that's horrible, or what's he looking at, or whatever. Now it's like once in a while. I mean, he's throwing the ball great. He throws the ball outside the numbers. He's still the best running quarterback in football. Right? I'm more with what you're saying. Like, it's a year where everybody's going to want Caleb Williams and Drake May. They could have 3 first-round picks when this year's over. They could. 3 this year, another 2 next year, right? They could get a big-time receiver, another pass rusher. They have money to spend in free agency. They could be one of the top teams in the NFC. Build the team. Here's just, you got me going now because I got more on this,
Good.
All right?
Okay.
Build the team. Stop the chasing of the quarterback all the time. Like, the Patriots built the team, and then they brought Brady along, and then it was like, oh, he's a superstar now. The Steelers built the team, and they brought Terry Bradshaw along, and then they were like, oh, we got a superstar here. Like, that's the way to do things.
3 weeks ago, the Cowboys were the best team in the NFL. And now I ask you this question, okay? 3 weeks later, after being the best team in the NFL, if Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys do not win a playoff game this year, will Mike McCarthy be fired?
Gosh, I never know with Jerry Jones and what the expectations are.
Harbaugh and Belichick lurking, just so
I know. I hear you. I can't imagine Jerry Jones, though. He's going to let Harbaugh and Belichick come in, and he's going to take a back seat to them, and they're going to tell him to shut up and listen to what I say. I don't think that's happening.
Okay.
Right? All right. So, but I do still think – I wouldn't fire him, but I still think there's a chance. I think there's a chance. You know, again, I mean, like the management of the clock last Saturday night, I mean, that's embarrassing. You know, that was embarrassing. That was so stupid. They got so lucky with the whole eligible and ineligible thing. But, yeah, I mean – I don't know. I wish the offense was a little more creative, but I still look at them and go, their biggest issues are, no big people on the D line. Their linebackers are below average NFL starters, and their safeties are just okay. And that's really what hurts their team more than anything.
The funny thing about this is we had this exact same conversation with Chris last year about Mike McCarthy after the playoffs. We're like, hey, he won a playoff game, but could he still get fired even though they lost the second playoff game?
Yeah, well, I think it's
just his existence in Dallas. Like, you're
not
just
just
always
that,
going
it's
to wonder.
The 2 guys that are kind of lurking, but Chris is right. Those are not, like, Jerry Jones doesn't want those kind of guys as
I don't
he wants
think
Jason
so.
Garrett, you know?
Right. I mean, Jerry Jones was ready to go crazy when Bill Parcells was the head coach because he couldn't stand that Bill Parcells was running the show and telling him what to do. So I don't imagine it being that type of guy. In fact, that's why I think, you had Jason Garrett and Mike McCarthy as the last 2 head coaches because Jerry can be king, and then, hey, you guys just coach the team, but I'll tell you how to do everything else. And I think in the end of the day, that's what the Jones family wants.
How are you, buddy?
I've been, moving. It's been a wild ride these last few weeks.
Yeah. What's been the wildest part of it?
The wildest part of it.
His coach was fired.
Well, discussed that with him.
Going through that.
That happened.
And then, life going on too, moving right now. Like I don't have my lights in the back or anything like that. So been getting getting the house ready to move, moving out of California. And then end of season's coming, been struggling. So that sucks as well. So it's that. And then I have my companies that have been doing well. And so it's like wild, man. Good stuff, bad stuff, everything in between.
So you're going to be a married man soon, unless something has changed, and I hope that's not the case because then I'd be really embarrassed. But you're going to be a married man soon, and you're now moving. Do you now have to leave some of your bachelor ways behind you? Like maybe before you had a bachelor pad, but now it's like this is more of a married home that I have.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a lot cleaner, that's for sure. The house anyway. But go ahead, Mike. What's up?
I was going to ask if when you're looking for houses, are you looking at schools? Do you have to start paying attention to things like that when you're looking?
Wait, you said you're moving out of LA, Austin. Should we read anything into that, or what's happening here?
No, I live out in Las Vegas during the off season. I've done that for the past 3 years, and so obviously going to be done with the Chargers after this year. So we'll see what goes on with there in the next year and what's to come. But they're moving up to LA because right now we practice in Costa Mesa down in Orange County, and so everyone's gonna have to move up in that organization up to LA now where the new facility is. And so I'm getting out of Orange County, going back just to the Las Vegas place.
Okay. So Mikey did ask a good question there. I cut him off rudely. I'm sorry, Mike.
That's all right. I cut Austin off. We're all cutting each other off. It's a new year.
So what's going on for you guys this year? What's the new path? More of the same? We got a new thing coming. What is there any new flavors?
It's funny, Austin, because Billy was saying today that he's already tired of 2024. So
yeah, not my year.
We're a day into it. I mean,
yeah, come on, Billy. What do you mean, man? What's going on?
There hasn't been anything concrete. It's just a feeling. I feel like next year will be more so my year than this year. You know what I mean? I'm going to give it my best shot, but I'm also not. I try, Austin, to limit my expectations with things, right? Because if I limit my expectations, then I can't be disappointed. Where if I expect too great of things, then I can only be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I feel like there's a place to live where you have high expectations, but you don't necessarily measure yourself to those expectations. You measure yourself to the progress that you've made, if that makes sense. You're always shooting for the horizon. You'll never catch the horizon. It's always going to be there. You're always going to be seeing I could have it better. However, if you compare yourself to the horizon, you're going to go crazy. But if you compare yourself to what you were, like I said before, then you can live in a place where you actually feel like you've progressed and done something. So I think you need to change perspective a little bit.
Very philosophical. I love it. Appreciate what you have, not what you don't have, Billy.
But Austin's also saying that as someone who's in his peak of his life. You know what I mean? We're Austin, when you start going,
this is not the peak, my friend. This is not the peak.
Okay,
don't put that on me, Billy. You don't put that on me.
You're still ascending. All right. Well, when you reach the level we're at where we're descending, you look back and you're like, oh, wow, I used to be so much better than I am now. I used to be in better shape. I used to be better looking. It just was such a better time before. And I realized this is just a slow march towards death.
I think we need to check on Billy here after the show. I think we need to check out our
But he's right. I mean,
you're not wrong.
Get there. You're getting married. You'll figure it out.
We're not wrong. We're all going to a slow march to death. But I want to live it up and have some type of fulfillment feeling, and not that I'm just inevitably going to die, which I am. But at least enjoy it while we still have the chance.
What are you going to do for the Super Bowl? It's in your hometown this year, so
he's calling the game with us. What do you mean?
Are people hitting you up and bothering you, asking you for connections and things already, or not yet?
Not necessarily connections, but to come show up at their gathering. I know there's a big celebrity poker tournament going on out there, so I know I'm getting invited to that with Blake Wynn, and then I know there's a bunch of just activations that I'm already going to be out there for that are going on. Obviously, Radio Row. I'll probably see you guys over there. I'm sure you guys are going out to that. So it's more of the same, but now it's just a little bit more intriguing for me because I live here now. I can go to more, and I'm not having to like fly and, worry about hotel rooms and stuff. I can just go home after the day's done. So
it's exhausting. Like, here's the thing that we learned. So like when it was down here in Miami a couple of years ago, you're like, oh wow, this is great. I'll be able to go home, sleep in my own bed. Like, this is going to be awesome. Right. And then what happens is you realize like, oh, but I still have to live my everyday life the entire week. You know what I mean? We're like, if you go away to Super Bowl, you leave your normal everyday responsibilities behind at home. And you're like, I'm going to be gone for a week or whatever it is. And then I'll get back and I'll get to regular everyday life. Right. But now it's like, oh, I need to go to do the celebrity poker tournament. And then I need to go to Radio Row. I need to do this. Did I turn off the lights? Did I take out the trash? Like, you still have all the things that you have to do in everyday life. But you have all these people also bothering because like, oh, Austin lives there. He must know the best place to go. Does he have someone that can get me into this place or that place? Can he get me on this list? Hook me up with this. Hook me up with that. You become a host. It's super annoying. Really annoying.
Well, look, it doesn't happen often enough. So I'm going to embrace it, Billy. I'm going on the upward trend, Billy. We got to get you over here on the
very
positive
negative,
side.
Austin. You're right.
Of the
How do I get there?
Right.
Get over here. Come on, right? Like,
Billy, how old are you?
I'm 36, so
You're
old.
too early. Austin would agree. It's too early for you to start marching to
early.
death. Okay,
way too early.
If me and Austin were in the same industry, like, they would have taken me out back and gotten rid of me already. You know what I mean? 36-year-old running back, I wouldn't still be in the league.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't think
I'm old.
Yeah, you're old in athlete years. Absolutely, you're a grandpa, but you're not an athlete, so you're young.
Excuse me,
in podcast years.
I was a pole vaulter in college. I was a Division I athlete.
Okay.
I'll have you know.
Okay.
I did.
He's young in running back years, but not in quarterback years. Joe Flacco. I mean,
there you go.
5-minute core class yesterday, Austin.
That's a start. There you go. New Year's resolution. Let's go.
Yeah, 5.
Was that one of those things? New year, new me, and you got in there or what?
We'll see how long it lasts.
It won't last long. Do you have New Year's resolutions? Do you do that, Austin?
Well, it wasn't an actual like resolution like this I'm going to do this year, but I actually was reading this book. And it kind of gave me this like thing to do before you go to bed, because I've been like mindlessly scrolling on like Instagram, and it's like, instead of doing that, it's like journal like what were the wins of the day, and then journal what you want the wins of the next day to be tomorrow. Put your phone on airplane mode, set it aside, and just think about, okay, what did I do today that was good, and then tomorrow what am I going to do right that's going to consider that a win in my book. So I'm trying that. So I've been doing a little bit of journaling, writing down my stuff and trying to just help myself. Now I know I have things that I want to check off today that I would consider a win right before I go to bed, and look forward to the next day too. So that's a new thing that I'm trying out this year. So yeah, like I said, just trying to continue to push forward and be as efficient, really mentally, not in like a quantifiable way, but like a qualitative way, like quality. Like, what's the quality of the time that I'm spending, instead of trying to do as much as I possibly can. Let's just do high quality stuff, because hopefully I can get a better return mentally in the fulfillment section of my life. So kind of been going through a little, not necessarily a change, but kind of like a new awakening to maybe some new methods to try out in my life.
I like it. I know you love what you do for a living. I know that. Okay. There are parts of it that are probably frustrating, but I know you love, in general, what it is you do for a living. Are you looking forward for this season to be over?
I'm not necessarily looking forward to it. I try not to wish my life away, because
marching to your death.
Because we're marching to death out here, So I'm very careful with my words when I'm looking forward to things. I definitely am going to embrace this last game. It's been a learning year. I've learned a lot more of what I expect from myself. Not only from the athlete side, but from a leadership side, that I feel like I fell short in, and maybe letting some stuff get away that I shouldn't have. And I've learned from that. And so now going forward, things like, I want to make sure that there's a point to always have some type of way for us to like get together. And I think if it's not there, then I have to be the one in my head. I'm like, I want to be the one that steps up and make sure that that's happening, and we can do that, and we can build that camaraderie in multiple different ways. So things like that I've learned. There's a few others in there. That was just an example of one that I've learned from the season. And I got asked after the game, how are you feeling? And yeah, it's frustrating. But at the same time, this is life, and this is sports. And so for all the fans and everyone, it's super emotional and everything, but it's like, I've gone through bad seasons, I've gone through great seasons. And guess what? Regardless of how the season goes, you're going to come back again next year with the same mindset of trying to get better, of trying to be more consistent, of trying to be a better leader, trying to be a better person. And it never changes. Obviously the emotions are short term and they're in the now, but over the long term of my athlete career, it's really more of the same. And it's always continued to try to progress towards that horizon that I was telling Billy about, right? That's out there, but you don't get caught up in the horizon, right? You make sure that you're looking at, how far I've come. And I'm very proud of my career and how far I've been able to continue to progress.
Billy's looking at his grave. I mean, it's sad. It really makes me sad. But I am wondering, Austin, because this is such an interesting off season for you. Okay, you're going to be 29 in May. We've talked about your body and how much it hurts, and you're a free agent. So, can you kind of take us through the decision making process this off season? Like, have you already decided I'm coming back? I want to play football still.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing for me as an athlete. I have another opportunity to go and play and make an impact. And as long as I have an impact, I want to keep that opportunity on the table. And there'll be a time in my life where I walk away from the game. But until that happens, like my mindset is continue to get ready and make an impact in the football field if I can and if a team wants me. And so it's my resume of over the past 7 years. I continue to build it, whether it's, going through good or bad seasons, still putting stuff on tape. And yeah, we'll see how this off season plays out. It's going to be super interesting because there's so much going on in the running back space. So We'll see how it plays out.
Austin, I know you enough. We've talked enough to know like your focus is on the next game, the next day or today or whatever. But at what point do you start having those conversations like with your agent about this is the kind of stuff I'm going to be looking for?
Yeah, I mean, so when the season ends, we have like till March until like free agency actually opens, and so that's definitely the time, right? And we're still having those conversations, right as soon as the season ends, and starting just to look around the league, look at the possibilities, kind of what do I want. It's not even something that I've really like honed down in on yet because I'm still finishing out this season. And that's talking about, right, like I said, future stuff. So I try not to wish my life away. So let's finish the season. Then that'll be the next thing on the plate to kind of attack. So I know I just said what I said, but even that could change, in the next, week or so.
We want to try out a new game with you, okay? We'll do so in a second. But I am wondering, what do you make? Like, did you see that Lions game? Did you see the call, the missed call? Like, what do you make of the officiating? Should they be held more accountable, the officials?
Man, I mean, we should all be held accountable to our job. But I think the officiating is such an impact on the game that it blows my mind that these guys are not full-time. Like, how are these people not full-time?
Yes.
This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we have people that need to regulate and officiate the actual game that's being played. These people, in my mind, should be just nonstop studying film, going to practices, going to games, right? Like, this is what they do. You do this full-time because look at the impact that it has, right? If it is a questionable call or whatever, and if there's a way that we can actually, right, make it better, which in my mind would be full-time, which Pat McAfee was saying it today. You get a sponsor to pay these people full time. Like imagine, Adidas pays up like all the stripes, and they have big Adidas on every single referee, and they pay them for the sponsorship for the TV and all. Like it wouldn't be hard. Money's not the option, not the question. It's like, why are we not doing this full time to get? So like, think of us. We're football players. We're not doing this part time. If we did it part time, the quality would be less than it is. And so same thing with the officiating. We got these guys that, Monday through Friday are out here doing whatever they're doing. Then on Sunday, like, I got to go call a game, like, come on. So I think we can help them out. I think we can help the refs out by giving them more opportunities to continue to be actually like committed to this, which I know they are, but like, let's give them more resources so they can just do this full time so that we can have a little bit more accountability there. Cause you could say, yeah, we got to hold them accountable, but they ain't even doing this full time.
Right.
Well, I mean, they're not poor. These are like lawyers also. This is like their side fun gig. I have a question for you based on a commercial.
Okay, not all of them are lawyers here, Billy.
They're all members of law firms.
Maybe a couple. I don't know.
What if you guys as players, Austin, were more accountable and you did like that kid in that commercial where you're like, hey, ref, it was out on me, and you go and you correct the official when you make the mistake. Because I feel like if there's anyone in the league that would do that, it might be you, where you're like, I actually didn't cross the plane there. We're gonna have to take
No
that one off.
chance.
I know it's gonna
No
cost my
chance.
charity $1,000.
Chance.
I didn't score.
You're
there.
asking competitors to be honest? I mean,
Oh my goodness.
we're celebrating Michigan. They cheated their way to the national championship game. I mean,
Like, we're always looking for an edge. So if it's in, it's in. They said it was in, so you can't put that in the hands of the athlete. Absolutely not. You gotta let the lawyers, settle that one out. So
Well, they're the lawyers.
he has all the refs in a law firm.
that's great.
Billy, do you have the standings? Austin, the game is called because you played these teams, you played against these teams, you know these teams very well. So we'd like to play a game if the season ended today. Okay. Now we realize there's another week, but we like to play if the season ended today. Billy will give you the potential playoff. Well, not potential. The season ended today, so these are the playoff matchups, and we just want to get your thoughts on the playoff matchups. Is that okay?
Interesting. Okay, let's hear what you got. Like, you want me to pick a team or what?
Yeah, we'll all pick a team. Let's do it.
Okay.
We'll do it together.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go. Let's try it.
Okay.
All right.
Your opinion means more than ours, though. So
You want me to start in the AFC with the matchups there?
Sure.
yeah.
All right. So the Browns are playing the Jaguars in Jacksonville. The season ended today. Who do you like there?
The Browns are incredibly hot with Joe Flacco. This man is just getting it done. And then obviously their defense has been stout the entire year. So I'm going to go with the Browns.
Wow. All right.
okay.
I'll take the Browns as well. Yes.
If the season ended today, the Dolphins are hosting the Colts.
He's taking the Colts. Jesus.
Ooh. What's going on with Miami?
Everyone's hurt.
That's weird. Yeah. It's odd.
Yeah.
They're getting unhealthy at the wrong time.
I feel that, man. Like, even our team, like our first three receivers are hurt. Starting center's hurt, right? Like, we're on a third string center. Edge rusher's hurt. These guys are hurt. Everyone, it's downfall, man.
Not to mention the quarterback.
Oh yeah, Justin's out too,
a little one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys aren't beat up that bad, over Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, Mostert's out, Waddle's out. We just lost Chubb. They lost Jalen Phillips. They've got some injuries there. Yeah.
I think Miami squeaks out a win there.
All right, squeaks out over Gardner Minshew. Awesome. Okay.
All right. All right. And the big one in the AFC, the Bills at the Chiefs.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, that one's interesting too, because those teams have definitely played at a high level, but have shown some inconsistencies. But I'm thinking
something bad about the Chiefs that you're going to play against this week.
Yeah, well, Well, if the season's already ended,
Yeah,
that's true.
He's not playing
such a great
this week.
point.
The Bills
He gets the game.
I'm going with the Bills, though. I think the Bills get it done. I think the Bills get it done over the Chiefs. I think it's gonna be a last second field goal. Boom. Bills over Chiefs.
I really love that so much that you.
Austin's better at this game than I am.
It's your game.
I love when people use Billy's logic against him. I don't know what you're talking about. The season ended today, and he's like,
And he loves it. Billy loves it.
Yeah.
Have you covered the entire AFC yet, Billy?
Yeah.
Okay, NFC. This is just the first round, Austin. We won't press you on the next two rounds, okay?
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll do that
later.
next week. Don't worry. Yeah, the season ended next week, which it does. But all right, the Eagles are going to Tampa Bay.
The Eagles.
Wow. Did not even think about it. I'm going to take Baker Mayfield there. How about that?
That is
Baker.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Wow. Okay.
I don't feel very good about it, but I felt like someone needed to give a different answer. I don't know.
Any given Sunday, huh?
Yeah, exactly right. Yes.
All right, the Lions are hosting the Rams.
This is a big one. I mean,
A double revenge game, Austin.
Stafford and Goff.
I know the Rams have been getting it done. Man, the Lions though, they've been looking so sharp. Oh, I think I had to go with the Lions for the first round. I think they get a first round win.
How would you like playing for Dan Campbell? Hypothetically, how would you like playing for Dan Campbell and someone who is so fixated on his plan of we're going for the win that he had 3 tries and never decided, you know what, let's just tie this game and take it to overtime. Like, nope, we're going for this win. I don't care how many penalties are called.
I mean, I was with Brandon Staley and we did the same thing. Right? We're going for the win. We're going for the win. If we're going for it, we're going for it. It don't matter. It was 4th and 9 out in Kansas City and we went for it. So hey, if your guy believes in your guys and you guys go get it done, then let's go get it done.
At some point, you got to give your team a chance, though. Like after that penalty, he should have kicked the extra point. He would have went for it if they had the ball in the 50. I mean,
we're going for it. It means we're going for it. It don't mean
all right.
With circumstances, unless something astronomically bad happens and there's some crazy now we're at the 50-yard line, sure, but. I mean,
so it seems like he would like to play for Dan Campbell, but that also comes with living in Detroit, Austin. So.
Yeah.
Motor City,
Detroit.
All right, one more game, Billy.
All right, the Cowboys will be hosting the Packers.
Ooh, the Packers
Revenge game for McCarthy, huh?
Packers have been on a streak though.
Jordan Love's pretty good. Yeah,
they've been doing some good things over there, but I think the Cowboys are just too much right now. I think the Cowboys get that win.
All right, good. How'd you feel about the game?
Which one?
If the season ended today.
Yeah.
Interesting game. Billy, you came up with that one?
Well, I mean, not really. Stugotz did.
Sports radio did. I mean,
it's old. Yeah.
Joe Flacco, Billy.
Here we go.
I heard someone, and I can't remember. I think it was Graziano, Dan Graziano, say if Flacco makes it to the Super Bowl this year, it solidifies him as a Hall of Famer.
You also heard Chris Sims say that on this very episode of God Bless Football.
Yeah, I know. It was so many segments ago that I forgot.
Yeah, 2 segments ago on TV.
Graziano said it like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
40 minutes ago. That's a long time.
Yeah. A lot has happened.
Yes. Joe Flacco's a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. If he doesn't win another game, Joe Flacco has thrown for like 44,000 yards. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl MVP. Okay? He has won more road playoff games than anyone in NFL history not named Tom Brady. Joe Flacco is a Hall of Famer. If Eli Manning is in, Joe Flacco should be in.
Okay, let me I don't want to pee on the parade here, but we've played this game before where we go to the Pro Football Reference Hall of Fame monitor.
It's a great game.
It gives you like an average score it's their Hall of Fame monitor, right? And it gives you a score. And the average score of a Hall of Famer is 100 point something, right? That's the line.
Okay.
And right now, Joe Flacco, oh boy, we have to go down a little bit here.
So 100 is basically...
It's like 108 or something, right?
Right.
Joe Flacco's 51.88.
Oh, he's getting closer.
So we're not...
Trending upwards, though.
We're not quite there yet with Joe Flacco.
Is there anyone in the 50s, though, that's around Joe Flacco
But how much is a Super Bowl warrant?
Okay, so look, here's the average is 103.58.
Right.
Joe Flacco was what? He was 51. I'll say this. Eli Manning is someone who everybody says will be, no doubt Hall of Fame or 2 Super Bowls, whatever.
Yep.
He's 85.01. So he's below the 103. And he will, likely get into the Hall of Fame.
Is there anyone else around Flacco that will likely get into the Hall of Fame or is in the Hall of Fame? Like in the 50s or 60s or 40s or...
Vinny Testaverde is 5 points low. It's 3 points lower than Joe Flacco. He's not a Hall of Famer.
Not a Hall of Famer.
No. How about this? Lamar Jackson presently is 44.83, which is pretty low.
Not a Hall of Famer yet. Two-time MVP before the age of 26, but not a Hall of Famer yet.
Well, not a MVP yet, but that's assumed that's going to happen.
Right.
Not two-time MVP yet.
Right.
The closest Hall of Famer is Jim Kelly with a 59.1.
There you go.
And then Troy Aikman at a 64.28.
Okay.
So...
I don't think Flacco needs to win anything. I think Flacco's a Hall of Famer. I'm also looking at players whose career was of similar quality on Pro Football Reference to Joe Flacco's. Jameis Winston. That's not fair to
really?
Joe. Yeah.
Who else is on the list?
Andy Dalton, Marcus Mariota, Jim Kelly, Ben Roethlisberger, Tannehill, Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, Fran Tarkenton. I mean,
Marcus Mariota.
It's so unfair to Joe.
How many seasons did Marcus Mariota even start?
I have no idea.
That's not right.
It is right. I'm looking at it right now.
But I'm saying that's not a fair comparison.
I agree. You know what? I think Flacco, he has, just because of the yardage, the touchdowns, the Super Bowl MVP, and the road playoff wins. And again, as Graziano pointed out, if he gets to one this year, he's a solidified Hall of Famer, which is absurd.
Marcus Mariota started like 5 seasons.
Yeah.
That's Joe Flacco's better than him.
I agree. Pro Football Reference, something's off there. I mean,
someone should look into this.
Bunch of quacks.
6 seconds.
What do you want me to do with them?
God bless football.
God bless football, everyone.